me because the glare is terrible. Timing cover, timing chain. We are missing something down there. If you note, it is a stick shift. When I came back, it was missing the clutch pedal. And I don't know who took that, but I'm not happy about it. So when I started this channel, or before, somebody said, keep it real. Don't stage stuff, do it right. And so in the heart of keeping it real, here's the hornet's nest that I gotta now erase. We're gonna test this pump just to see, because, well, it's not connected, and this is literally goo. This is what happens when you don't use fuel line. That is literally grease, tar like substance. That is nasty. I'm going to test the pump. So let me get the battery here and let's give it a test. Remember, I don't have a clutch, so it's in neutral. It turned over. Also don't have a reach to the throttle. We got to clean the front of this out. Hello and welcome to Titan Customs. My name is Paul. What is behind me is a 1987 K5 Blazer. It belonged to my mom. She's no longer with me, and I've decided it is time to get it running and driving again. At the moment, we have a Hornet problem. Alright guys, I don't know if you can see that. I'm going to zoom you in a little closer. We've got Hornet issues. I went to film yesterday, and well, let's just say I let them have the real estate for one more day. There you go, there's a few of them. I beat one of these things out from under this hood that was the size of a grapefruit. And in my infinite wisdom, I missed two of them. So let's take a look at where those little you-know-whats are coming from and actually get rid of them so I can get some work done. All right. That'd be problem number one. And that'd be problem number two. Do we have any others? I don't see any more, but I didn't see those yesterday when there was one hanging by that hinge that was absolutely gargantuan. So give me a second and I'm going to see what we can do about this. So guys, I'm going to do the most insane things we can do. Spray them with B12 because I don't have any Hornet spraying. It's 20 miles away one direction. Well, let's start at the middle and nail this nest first, and then that one. And while they're trying to reel from that, send them reeling somewhere else. That's great. We don't want them in the darn engine. I think there's some pretty pissed off Hornets right now. And they're going to come back and mess with me, I guarantee it. Damn it. Yep, there's a pissed off Hornet. It will not take them long, as you can see, to be back bugging me. Dang it, I want that nest out of there. All right, now that we've pissed off a whole bunch of Hornets, yep, and they're flying around there. Where's my nest? We're gonna take a, whoa, oh yeah, huh? Well, they weren't so much here. Now they're pretty much everywhere. All right, this is the first year, the throttle body injection. It is covered with rat poop, and a long time ago I did all that wiring repair with those quick connects because rodents had ate the wiring. It is very complete. Somebody has mangled my wipers. Something on my wipers don't look right there. It is very, very complete, and it does have a bunch of trash down there around the exhaust manifold. This is one of those years with air injection. Okay, let's take a quick look at the outside real quick before I get stung. This is what started all this. It's sitting anyway. Those are 3/4 ton axles. A long while back, I blew one of the axles out of it, and I decided to have one of my mechanics put axles under it, and that's as far as it got when they told me the fuel pump had gone out. And that was 27 years ago and some change. Tags are 04. That really pisses me off. This truck doesn't have any other rust, and that is because the drain holes plugged in the tailgate, and that really doesn't make me happy. Not even a little. Okay, we are having Mountain trying to take over the truck, buried alive. That door being black does not thrill me at all. I have a blue one for it. I didn't even realize that until recently. It has got all kinds of stuff in it because, yes, I've used it for storage. Let's see how our Hornets are doing. Yeah, we got a whole bunch of them back. Like, oh, twice. Yeah, there's a bunch. All right. Let's take a look inside the truck for a second. Hopefully without getting stung. Oh, yes. So there is, like I said, my tunnel ram for my Pro Street Chevelle is sitting in here. Hopefully you can see it better than me because the glare is terrible. Timing cover, timing chain. We are missing something down there. If you note, it is a stick shift. When I came back, it was missing the clutch pedal. And I don't know who took that, but I'm not happy about it. I do in fact have one. And there's the clutch. I took it out of the 87 half-ton step side. It did work when I took it out about a year ago. So we're going to try that. Like I said, this truck is very solid. We need to see what the gas tank smells like. It's got to come out. We do have a fuel pump for it, and it's a locking cap. It does have a fuel key in it. Come on. There it is. That should go. I don't know. Ooh, that smells real bad. I do not know if it does not have the little floppy thing in there. Maybe we can get a hose down in there and just blow on it and see if there's any fuel in it. All right, guys, I stuck a hose in the gas tank. It's empty, and I don't mean a little. Somebody siphoned it dry, thank God, because that means I don't have to actually change the tank, but we still have to get the fuel pump out of it, and that isn't going to be such a bad deal either. The front of this thing is a swarm of wasps. I did stick a battery in it. I thought maybe we'll just squirt some juice in it and see if it'll pop over. It's electronically fuel injector, throttle body injected, so there's no running it without a pump, but we could see if it runs or even turns over. There's no getting near that end of the truck. I'm not have any fear of hornets, but I don't particularly want to be stung 50 times either, especially when there's 100 of them up there doing that. So I'm going to switch you around and show you what we have to do to get this tank out. And by the way, it's a lot better than my big Blazer. The big Blazer has a great big steel skid plate over it, and I assume this one would too, but it does not. So let me flip you around and show you what I got to do. My Blazer bolts in a little different than the big black one. I'm referring to that one than this one does. This one you drop the tailgate down, and there's a bolt there and a bolt there, and that holds the gas tank in. That's the end of the straps. And then let me get you underneath. Hang on. So there's the filler neck and the vent line. The vent line's got squeeze clamps. Filler neck, just a regular clamp. I'm going to go ahead and take those down out of there. You don't need to see that, and it's hard to get you under here, so I thought I'd let you know what I'm doing. Then we'll drop the tank down, and I'll disconnect the fuel lines and stuff from above the high pressure, 15-pound high pressure fuel lines. Give me a minute. It is super hot out here, and I expect you to be shutting down any second, so I'm going to try to get you out of the sun quickly. It is, yeah, it's not cool at all. Gotcha, turkey. Now that filler neck was giving me grief, to say the least. So I disconnected it. I've got the vent tube off and the other one's stiff as heck, so we got to work with that. I'll drop it down. All right, guys, that's what we're dealing with there. We got to disconnect those lines. Two of them are high pressure fittings and one of them is a squeeze clamp, and then you can see the sender wire for the fuel gauge on the other side. It is dropped out. Everything else is disconnected. It wasn't terrible. It's never any fun. These hoses are a pain in the butt. Let me get this thing out and we'll take a look at and see how bad it is. There is a little bit of fuel in there. I could hear it sloshing around, but it's like probably a couple of cups. Let me get back to you. All right, guys, I got this thing out. As you can see, it was just plugged in the frame rail. That's easy. Hopefully this mechanism is good, and hopefully the tank is good. We do have the tank that I rigged onto the 1956 so we could get it running, and that is also the pump we're putting back in here, because these days they decided these pumps are worth $100, $150, and locally you don't even want to know. But the point is they don't last because they're Chinese. The one I got doesn't have that great of man, this thing is crusty, a filter on it. That's not at all what we were trying to do. I'm trying to get on one of these ribs and rotate that thing. There it goes. And that's our spot. I have blown it off once. I'm going to do that again before my compressor leaks all its air. Now I did note something. Somebody put Teflon tape on here, and these are O-ring compression or O-ring style fittings. No tape, man. That's all real bad. That puppy is rings free, but well, let's just say the rest isn't. There it is. Why you want to play with me? Ooh, that is, there's the problem. Okay. Oh, geez, guys, you think that we're gonna test this pump just to see? Because, well, it's not connected, and this is literally goo. This is what happens when you don't use fuel line. This is not acceptable. And there isn't even a clamp on it. Oh, the clamp's right there. Yeah, okay, they're little squeeze clamps. Somebody used the wrong fuel line on this. Now I'm real curious if the damn thing actually, I don't think it does. Of course, I don't know. I didn't diagnose this thing. Now that I think about it, they called me and said the fuel pump died. All right, that's absolutely disgusting. So my point of the Teflon tape here is, remember I said there's no skid plate on this. And that's kind of helpful at the moment because I don't have to take off one more thing. But did any of these come without skid plates? I've done a bunch of them, and I don't remember. I can show you the one on both. Well, that Blazer, my son's had one the same year, and his was an 88, mine's a 91, and this is an 87. But his Blazer has the exact same skid plate as mine does, and it's an 87. So, or an 88, excuse me. I don't know, maybe it does, maybe it don't. Maybe they got lazy and didn't put it back on there, and that definitely would not be a workable situation. So what we're gonna do now is test this pump. Battery's up there. I'm gonna bring it back here because there's still Hornets running around up there. And then we are going to, like I did on the 56, we're gonna pressurize the lines this way after I disconnect them from the throttle body on that end and blow out any garbage, because we don't want whatever's in this tank in there. Speaking of what's in this tank, I got so distracted with that, because that is not just a little nasty, that's not completely unhooked up. I'm gonna take a look down in here and see what this looks like. And put this nasty thing over here and get a rag and clean it up. See if that's even a functional. Oh, there's fluid in it. Oh! 27-year-old fuel is really disgusting. That's what it is. All right. Let me get the battery together and stuff, and we're going to test that pump. We're going to see if I can get some of this out. These are a SOB to get the fuel out. Yeah, you just turn it up because this is a low spot, right? Yeah, you would think so. Should have seen me trying to get the gas out of that tank. All right, let me get back to you. I'll be right back. All right, guys. So I got 99% of it out of there, and it's just. Let's see if I can get an angle back. It isn't bad. That's the catch tray. You know, the keep it in the center stuff. I'm going to wipe that out with my hand in a rag, but I'm not changing this tank. This tank's fine. Okay. That is literally grease, tar-like substance. That is nasty. I'm going to test the pump. So let me get the battery here and let's give it a test. All right, guys. I'll organize myself. See the tar all over the place? Nasty. Oh yeah, that's our gas. And we'll do a flame test on it. 21 years later, I'm looking at a hornet's nest right there on the tailgate support that is no longer in one piece. Oh my gosh. Should probably show you this. Man, I can't win with the Hornets. Yeah, those Hornets. That is not good. We're not going to disturb them. Before I leave, I'll knock those down and those down. The Hornets took over. Okay, so what I've got going on here, positive and negative. The gray wire is the positive. That'd be this wire here. And then the negative comes down and the purple wire is the gauge. We don't want to feed that no power. So what we are going to do is we're going to give the gray wire power. And we could go straight to the case. Or we could go to the ground. I'm good with that. Yeah, not good. All right, guys, I will see you tomorrow. We'll put this tank in. We're going to get that engine started. All right, guys, we're back. we're going to put that tank in. But before we do that, we need to blow the engine compartment out. I'm going to try that rather than vacuum it. Vacuuming is really extensive, and I don't think it needs that much. So let's do that, and then let's get the lines blown out. And yeah, I'm still dealing with a little bit of hornet issues, so give me a minute here. All right, guys, this is going to get noisy here in a minute. I suspect there's a hornet's nest right behind this or in the headlight bezel somewhere, because there's hornets going in and out of there like that. So I'm going to blow everything else, and then I'm going to zap them with high pressure air, which should just tear their wings right off of them. Terrible, just terrible. No. This is going to get noisy. Okay, guys, I know you don't got great visibility of me, but you can see the air cleaner and the hornets and all that stuff, and your magnetic attachment for later, maybe. Ah. Okay, and a rat urine rusted wing nut. Ah, liars. Say that hopefully that's not an omen for the carburetor or the fuel injection throttle body. Come on. Shit. I should have beat on it a while back. Dang it. Now let's see if there's rodents living in it. Nope, not really. Some slightly rusted shell, some rat poop, and some acorn shells. Nothing terrible. Come on, out of there. Okay, that's one out of the way. Come on, jerk. And that is two an O-ring style. Both of them are, now that I can see the tip. And that O-ring wasted. At least I think it is. All right, so we don't want this blowing into the carburetor, so I'm going to put a 3/8 hose, stuff it over the top of those, and then I'm going to get on the other side with some compressed air, blow it into that 1 gallon jug again, take a look. We don't really need to take a look, but it'll keep it from going everywhere else. Right. All right, guys, 3/8 hose was way too small, so I've got an old section of garden hose stuffed over there, which is going to leak, but it's not going to allow that crud to go down my throttle body into there. I've got it so it's just up against the hood and stuck under the hose there, so hopefully it doesn't shoot off. You'll probably get better, well, you will get a better view than I do. And I'm going to blow it out until it sounds clear, then I'm going to check it, and then we're going to do the actual, probably do both sides. The other one, where's that thing faced? Last time I decided, yeah, we'll put the hose on that one too. Because last time I decided not to put the hose on the return, and well, it had a bunch of garbage in it and just covered the engine, and yeah, you have to smell that stuff forever. So give me a second here. You know, it had a little bit in it. That's not what I would call a lot, but that is nasty. Let's put it on the return side also. Oh yeah, and I get under there and I grab the feed line. That's gonna blow that thing right off, I know it is. I hook up the feed, or grab the feed line. I put the nozzle to it and look up, and guess what's there? Another hornet's nest about that big with about 12 hornets on it. Man, I can't win. And I was up right against that, disconnecting those lines yesterday. It's a little darker under there then. All right, let's blow this one out. Well, I didn't blow it off. I thought it was gonna. Oh, that's because it's stuck on there. Good. There it goes. That is nasty. That's like dark, like almost, well, that is oil color. All right, guys, I still got hornets. That's not what I was going at. I'm going to go ahead and hook up the return side of that, providing it has an O-ring, and put the gas tank in it, because I'm going to take you guys through that. You can't even get under there good. I can barely get under there good. And I got to deal with that dang wasp nest. So give me a minute or two and I'm going to get back there and get that set up, deal with the wasp nest. I'll be back. So when I started this channel, or before, somebody said, keep it real. Don't stage stuff. Do it right. And so in the heart of keeping it real, here's the hornet's nest that I got to now erase, obliterate, before I can even get under here and not get stung. And there are those lines that I actually disconnected last night somehow without getting stung. Mainly because it was getting dark and they don't like to leave the nest then. So I'm going to take that pole and I'm going to whack them and I'm going to run. I'll see you in a minute. All right, guys, the tank is back in. As you can see, the filler neck's hooked up. The tank is back under there. And if you notice, there's a differential bolt missing and a lot of oil around it, or gear oil leaking out below it. We will definitely be checking that before we move this thing more than up over the speed bump behind us. I'm going to get you set up and we're going to tighten this tank the rest of the way down from the top. I'm blind. All right, guys, I put you over there so you weren't looking in the sun, because that doesn't make for real good filming. I've got a water bottle stuck over the feed line. I'm going to go ahead and hook up the battery, and then I'm just going to cycle the key and get it to push some fuel through into that. It's going to probably blow that dang thing off. It's not that much power. It's just a weird angle, and the line is barely there. So let's hook up the battery, which is one of those things I had to steal this from the Blazer. And that is a battery terminal removal device. Center, I hate these side posts. So this thing just eliminates that whole nightmare. And that is a negative, which we'll do last. And how crusty is this? I've seen worse. It should work. I never thought side terminals were a good idea, and you know, about 1.1 million years later, they went back to the regular posts. This thing's acting like it wants to go in sideways. We'll have none of that. I grab the large shoulder, usually with a pair of pliers or the 5/16 stubby, and hornets. If you're thinking, what am I doing? A lot of you guys have already done this a dozen times. I'm using a 3/8 course hold. I'm running it in until it's snug, and then I'm using a nut to tighten it up to take the tension out on the cable. There's actually two here. so you can snug one against the other. And we have no spark. Sparky spark none. All right, let's cycle the key and see if we have anything. I don't think anything looks. That is the fuel pump relay there. Why would that wire be disconnected and taped off? I'm not going to ask that question until after I try it. Can I see it here? You know, I said I always keep it honest with you. Fuel pumps work better if you plug them in. I need to slide under there and plug it back in on the frame rail. I'll be right back. All right, guys, let's try this again. I did check the connections. I think we need to be rotating while we do it, and it did turn over a little bit, so that's a big relief because that means it isn't seized. And 17 years is 27 years is a long time. I didn't have a real good, oh good, we're leaking fuel everywhere. Yep, we've got fuel right on top of the coil. That's a good place for fuel. All right, let's hook it back up. And it's nice and clean. It's got I did put some octane booster in it, which is also an injection cleaner. At least see what it's doing, and yes, I can. Can I fix it? You know, that's debatable. Maybe. It either looks like it's going to cross thread or pop right back out. Do we have a throttle? Yes, we do. I think we got it, guys. Yeah, that can be a mistake. One I don't feel like making. Remember, these have a rubber O-ring in them. You do not have to get barbarian on them. You do need to make sure the top one's tight before the bottom one, or you will have leaks. Okay, let's switch sides again. Okay, you're the one that you didn't even want to go back home. But you need to go home. Because after all, it's your home. That back on. This doesn't need to be there, but it certainly can be. Actually, I'm going to leave that off so it's crankcase vacuum, so that you can see injectors doing their thing if they're doing their thing. I'm going to reposition you and we're going to try to start this thing. Actually, you know, I wasn't the last one to work on this, and oil's half a quart low. That's all right. Doesn't look too bad either. I had multiple mechanics working for me when this rear end was put, or drivetrain was put in here. So service was something that happened a lot, because that's what we were doing, mobile repair, heavy duty, mostly. Hence the service won the boom truck. One more turn. Damn it. It's down about 2 inches after all that fighting. I don't like you. That's all right. We'll leave that open so we can see if thermostat opens. All right, guys. I've got you positioned better. I've got brake fluid all over the place where I splashed it. I'm going to, the little bit of fuel we got here, I'm going to use part of it. I'm just going to prime it. You don't really need to do that. Whoa, that's a big prime. I like my little squirt. That works a little more controlled. All right, let's see if this thing will crack off. Remember, I don't have a clutch, so it's in neutral. It turned over. Also don't have a reach to the throttle. We got to clean the front of this out. Injectors are both working. It sounds like it was turned off yesterday. Power steering's low. Big pluses for throttle body injection. I'm telling you, they're tough. Let's check the oil pressure. The one thing, guys, I did here that I would never do for a customer's car is not replace the entire sending unit and everything. Of course our gas gauge isn't working. It says it's full. And it is hooked up. I'll bring this thing up to temperature. Zero smoke. I got pummeled with stuff flying out of the fan, parts of acorns and stuff. Oh, idiot gauges. That's gotta go. No oil pressure, no water filter, just idiot lights. I hate those things. Wow. I'm so happy. I don't know if I can even reach the pedal, but I'd like to push it with my hand and see if it has a pedal. Guys, we might be a clutch pedal away from being able to drive this. And they must have something going on. Chopper's been going out of 4th Street 3 times now. Oh, those fire people. God, I hope not. Thermostat is open. It's raised about an inch. Yeah, it's moving. Oh yeah, good flow. Perfect flow. Nice room cooling. Sorry. That'll make you feel guilty. Well, the other thing I was worried about is everything I own around here that's, bought and owned in the 90s, the 80s, and early 2000s had 16.5s on them, rims. This thing has 16-inch rims, and I know it's because the wrecked vehicle I got it from, or the vehicle we scrapped, had 16s on it. They seem to be a matching set except that right rear one. Wait, does that mean this is a 16.5? No. Man, super stoked. That's great. The entire window washer stuff is broke off here. I can hear the throw-out bearing working in there. It needs to be compressed. I can't do anything about that. Alright, let's stop it, turn it off, see if it starts right back up. I know this is insane, but I just turned on the... Yeah, it's not. I was like, the AC worked when it was parked. Not no more. Half the heater fan isn't, the fan isn't working. Probably just got a rat's nest in it and won't move. All right, guys, let's stop for the night. We're running out of the sun. I'll decide what our next steps are. Well, our next steps are we need to put clutch in this and see if the brakes actually work. I have pedal. It would be nice. I would just love to put a clutch, put the slave cylinder in it. Man, that clutch assembly is a pain in the, you know what? Plus I have to unbury that entire front seat so I can get in there. All right, let's call it for a night. It's dinner time. And I did all kinds of wiring repair from rodents all over the place. All righty. And I am more than a little bit happy about that. All right, guys, we're back. It's the next day. I'm going to spin you around and show you what we got to do to hopefully get this clutch working. We have a couple options, and I cleaned the front seat out so we can actually get there. Give me a minute. All right. So there's the master cylinder and the slave cylinder that I took off the other 87. It was actually working when I took it off. It is a little moist around, that was a reservoir, master cylinder, and slave cylinder. Now that we got our locations of parts all down, I also noted that there actually is a master cylinder, clutch master right there, and the slave cylinder's in there. So we may just take it apart right here, which I really don't want to do. The reason I really don't want to do that is I don't know whether that's working or not, but I do know this is a sealed system, and I would actually try to use it, except the reservoir line is broken off of it. So yeah, this crusty thing was working when I took it off. These are all going to have to be replaced, but this is what I got to work with. Let's go inside the truck. I've got the brake pedal assembly, and oh yeah, note that I have two. So somewhere down the line, I decided I need to collect parts for this, and I wish I bought a brand new cylinder. But we get to put it up in there, which we're not getting you in there with me. So I'm just going to get it assembled, and then we're going to bring you in, so you're just not looking at my legs wiggling around and trying to install absolute misery. So yeah, this wasn't nearly as bad when I was 12 years old and weighed 70 pounds, but now, yeah, not so much. Let me get you set up. As soon as I get this in, I'll get back to you. All right, guys, that was a pain in my butt, but I managed to get that in there, including the little coil spring. If any of you've ever done that, that little spring makes it 10 times harder, but it helps it retain where it's supposed to be. Some say it pushes back. Whatever, it's there, it's right. Now let's hook up the cylinders. All right, guys, what we got going on here is not all that good. It's more typical BS. So this, like I said, the master cylinder, clutch master, is still here. When I looked down there, it was stuffed way down here. That's why I hadn't seen it before. But they also bent the feed line. And I did notice that, I'll show you. I'll get this to hang around for a minute. This is weeping a little bit around the cylinder, and yeah, it works at the moment, and it'll probably work for a little while. But this line has not been bent, so I'm going to go ahead and break it free here. Same thing with down below on the truck. Break it free there. We're going to take that. There's a hold down right down there. We're going to take that off. We're going to remove this cylinder. We're going to put that cylinder and hook it up to the master cylinder to the slave cylinder. This down there that's already there. It is not weeping. All right, guys, we're back. Let's see if we can get this bled. I've got a line going from the bleeder valve into a jug, like I told you yesterday, with about this much brake fluid in the bottom of it. I've got it opened up right now, and I've got brake fluid in the clutch master cylinder. We're going to pump it, see if we can get some of that bypass to bubble up, and see if we can get this thing cleaned out. I don't know if these parts are going to work, but it's the choice we have at the moment. So let's see if we can get a clutch. Oh yeah, let me switch you around and I'll show you what we did, because I know last night it was getting dark. Its cylinder's in, master's in, and it is seeping around that thing, which is probably not a good sign. And then it's hooked to the slave cylinder down there. And I know I've done this with you guys before, if you'd watched previous ones, but we always have new people, hopefully a whole bunch of new people, because we're real small. Okay, so there's the line going down from the bleeder. Let's see if I can get you a shot of that. Focus. Yeah, you can see the rubber line going to the bleeder on top of the slave cylinder down there, hooked to the clutch fork. All right, let me get you set up and let's see if we can get some fluid moving. All right, we got a much better fitting vacuum line, and it goes all the way to the ground instead of part of the way. This doesn't seem to be dropping as fast, so maybe I don't have the bleeder valve open enough. We're going to find out right now when I push on that pedal. That's moving even better than it did before. That's kind of a good sign, because, yeah. Actually, that's about the same. We just can't let air back into it this time. It fell over and pulled the line up, and yeah, air goes up. I think pushing any more fluid through that thing is a waste of time, because we're not getting the throw out of it. Pump it a few more times. I was thinking, put it in reverse and bump it, see if the clutch is stuck. And I really want this thing starting and not being able to stop it. Actually, it has brakes. Let me try that. Maybe it has brakes. This could get real interesting. I don't want to run my tailgate into a bunch of stuff back there. It actually feels like it's got pretty good clutch. I don't know why it's not disengaging. Okay, we are going to try to bleed it a little bit more. I am going to raise this cylinder up in case we got some air trapped in there. Why not? Can't hurt. Probably won't do any good. Oh, that one we're not. And so what I did is I put it in gear and started it in reverse with my foot on the brake, and then I let off the brake and it wasn't going anywhere, but I couldn't go into gear after that. So we were very close to having a clutch. Probably just one more bleeding round would do it. I want to eliminate that there's an air pocket in that dip. Oh, yeah, and this I put that there was a fire. There was. They got it contained. Thank God. It's only about 6 miles north on this side of the highway, on the north or east side of the 101. Same side. You know, this is one of those things that sometimes you can do some stupid little thing like this and it actually helps. You know, I'm not holding my breath for that, but if you get that bubble up above the high point, and I probably already did it so we wouldn't see it anyway. Like that. Just let it sit there for a minute. I'll pump it a few times like that and see if it, my God. Yeah, I guess I spilt it all over the top of the vacuum pod. There's that rag. You know, every once in a while, some stupid shit works. That worked. We got clutch in and out. We got full pedal. How long? Long enough to drive it, I hope. So I'm going to clear out behind it. We're going to crawl this thing out of here, over the mountain and through the woods and off to, no, we're not. We are going to climb out of here in four-wheel drive. I've never had this, I've never driven it with these axles. And that's one of the things we got to find out. What gear ratio is this? Because I don't remember. And I'm hoping it's not real low because it's a 4-speed. It's not a 5. So there was a little pocket of air trapped in that dip. It was doing something. It doesn't even make sense because we didn't bleed the other end or anything. I just picked it up, pumped it a few times, we have pedal. Coincidence? Maybe. I'll go with it worked. And yes, I am going to try that again now that I've moved that and make sure we're not just sucking air into that cylinder at that junction there, because that's possible too. Hopefully not. That would irritate me. Still doesn't feel like a brand new pedal by any means. These parts need to be replaced. Like I said, they're a week out and they're expensive. All right, let me get you guys set up. We're going to take this thing and move it over. I told you I fired the guy that put these axles in here because he was doing some bad work. We'll just leave it at that. So we're going to back it over there. We're going to check the rear diff oil because we know it's leaked like crazy. I'm going to crawl underneath of it, make sure all the shackle bolts are tight. Huge bolts are tight because I have an idea, and I'll tell you what that is in just a few minutes. All right, guys, what I am going to do is pull this Blazer up and try to back it out on that side of the hump. It is in four-wheel drive. It is in high range. We are going to put it in low. Wow, that clutch pedal feels awesome. Must be in neutral. That's in granny. That's in light granny. I need to put some power steering fluid in this puppy. Yep, that's in granny. Okay, we're going to, yeah, my whole entire engine is parts is in the for the Chevelle is in here. So let's walk this puppy out of here. Man, we need some power steering fluid. Let's do what Blazers do. Climb. Over 5 yards of gravel. All my screws from I took the dash bezel off. Growl. I'm gonna wash the dash bezel. Ah! It drives. Okay, we're going to do a safety inspection. We're going to crawl under it, and then we'll run over my damn dog if it doesn't get out of the way. Move, dog! Move! Stupid dog, move! It's like herding cows. So we're going to wash this thing, and then we have a couple of options. Option one, this is 2,240 foot in elevation. Top of my property is 3,000, 2,900 and almost 3,000. So there's quite a bit of elevation change, and it's a dirt road that is I've been taking care of for the last 4 years because of multiple surgeries and recuperating. So it's overgrown, it's probably got rocks in it, maybe a tree across the wall for breaking the chainsaw. That's option one, go to the top. The reason, me and my mom and my girlfriend at the time, in this vehicle, in this Blazer, the first time I saw this property, went to the top and all the way over to the other side in this Blazer. That's why. I can't believe this thing runs that well. Let's go to high range. That's neutral. Let's go 4 high. Is that 4 high? Let's put it in reverse. Reverse. I am shocked the brakes work this well. And you know, I could swear, and I told you guys, I think I had them do a brake job on it. Man, when I'm under there looking at that stuff, it don't look like new. Even 27 years old sitting there, I guess it would rust up a bunch, but man, it looks like it's been there a lot longer than 27 years. All right, guys. Let me get set up. We're going to clean this thing and do it. I'm going to crawl underneath it, but I'm not going to get you guys under there. There's no reason for it. If I find something that he's done that's really stupid, I'll bring you in. All right, guys, it's the next day. I have topped off the antifreeze, put some power steering fluid in, a little over 2 quarts of gear oil, and I cannot find a gear ratio tag on front or rear end. So what I would like to do now is give this thing a quick bath and let's get a drive in.
Living high
little windy there. Let me show you what the top looked like. So as you can see, that's pretty black. I gotta do something about the rusted, before it rusts through, because that's what they do. Alright, let's get set up and let's go for a drive. We still got some time and we may have trees in the road. I'll get that in a minute. Alright guys, let's do this. I've got a chainsaw, I've got some sawgas, there could be rocks in the road. I don't know if we're going to make it to the top, but let's give it a try. Starts right up. It puffed a little bit. We might be doing valve stem seals. Man, it'd help if you put it in reverse. Yeah, I'm a little nervous. My mirror is all over Wackyville over there. Wreck it running into something on the way back around here. Well, this seems so much smaller than my Blazer, and it's not, it's just shorter. It's not on 40s, nor is it gonna be. We might lift it, but it won't be on 40s. 33s, 35s, maybe. Well, I was worried about this being low gear. I don't think that's... Okay, the gear ratio is definitely, we're going to lock this thing because we need to, granny low, we need to be listening to things. Accelerator pedal's a little sensitive, it's stiff. The seat's way too far back, you won't pull straight up and down, and my window is rattling like crazy over there. That's crazy. Why is it doing that? That door's got to go. And yeah, I do have my entire engine out of my Chevelles. All the exterior parts are in here. Tunnel ram and carburetors and everything else that attaches to the exterior of the block. It has been warm today, very warm. And I haven't been up this hill in so long. Years. Well, it's been 4 years since I had a major surgery, and I haven't done anything like that since then. So I know it's going to be overgrown. I just don't know how overgrown, because it was probably, it was before the surgery, so it could have been longer than that. 5? I don't know. We're going to find out partway. Hopefully that doesn't mean a lot of backing up. We're pulling 10,000 rocks out of the road or cutting into a tree. Let's see if we can shoot this in one shot here. This is very wooded Yeah, this needs to be brushed out. I know I'm going to need a dozer up here. I need 3 of me, or wood, or 1 wood. That boy loves a chainsaw. Uses the hell out of me. All right. That's doing really well. My gas tank, my gas gauge is bobbling towards full. It's moving. We're on a steep hill, so, but it was reading full, and it's not full. More like a quarter. Definitely not half. It is all over the place. So we are going up a lot in elevation. Where we left the house is 2,240 feet in elevation. We are going approximately to 3,000. The knob, I believe, is exactly 3,000 or just shy of it. The top of the ridge is a little over 3,000, which is just a little higher than the knob is, which you'll see. A lot of you guys are going to recognize, or a few of you might recognize this area right here, or even this part of the drive, because we rescued the C10, actually the Big 10, right here. Wow, this thing is doing good. That was a little wheel slip. What the heck? My speedometer is not moving. Speedometer worked before. What the heck's up with that? Like I had noted before, I hate idiot lights. And I know I got distracted there because I saw that gas tank on full and realized I had to change to center, but that wasn't an option, so it's doing something now. It's flipping back and forth. Jungle-ish real quick, which probably is pretty jungle-ish to you guys. This is definitely not flat by no means. Freaking vines are insane. It's not acting like four-wheel drive's working. It's definitely not acting like. I would have to bet that it's not pausing the river. Okay, definitely it's getting more jungle-like. Yeah, this is a little different than running down through your corn crops or flatlands. Oh boy, oh boy, oh boy. Oh God. Okay, we didn't grow a little bit of more brush in the last couple of years. We really grew some brush. Pronto, this is ridiculous. Like another rainstorm that we won't be able to Okay, I wanted an adventure, we're getting one. Western Manzanita, we will go. Fortunately, that doesn't kill the damn things, they just pop right back up. I really need to get my brother's dozer up here. That's $2,000 adventure. I can't afford it at the moment. Moving it, granted each direction. Wow, I had no idea this was this bad. "4 years, guys. It's not good." Actually would have chainsaw work in Manzanita, go in the middle of our road there, 4 feet tall. That's crazy. Here's where it gets real sketchy. This thing slides out, so I'm going to do another video. Yeah, this is sketchy. It was about a 150-foot drop straight down the cliff. We're doing a little bit of that. Not a lot of that. That's what our four-wheel drive is. And this is the wrong place to get your ass over sideways. Oh, come on, don't go to the bank. Okay, we did want an adventure, didn't we? Let's try that again. It wasn't in four-wheel drive. I might have been a little excited. It's not like I hadn't driven this a million times. Okay, now our low range feels like low range. Now that's granny. Yeah. Thought of mom and all that kind of distracted me. God, that was just out of four-wheel. It's much better than getting stuck on the side of a nasty cliff. Okay, now we need first gear, because that is just... Yes, Paul. So I was shifting a 205 pattern and just reached down there and kicked it into low, which happens to be high two-wheel drive in this. Just retarded because my Blazer's got the same shifter in it. Oh, I can't believe how overgrown this is. My son's got a D4? No, D3? Something really small. I might be able to get him to move. It's again moving it. I don't know where it's at. I know you don't need that in your face. Yeah, this is ridiculous. Needless to say, when I came up here with my mom and my ex-girlfriend, it was a lot less brush. It really doesn't take that much. A couple of guys going up and down the road in a day can clean this all up. We are going to be coming up on the knob, but before we get to the knob, which is right here, that is a helicopter landing spot. I want to introduce you to Bear Rock, which is you are on Bear Rock Ranch. And coming up, you're going to see a rock outcropping that looks like a bear looking at the sky. Oh, what is that? That was a limb I did not see because I'm paying attention to Ding Rock. Alright, I want to film that and give you guys a close-up of it. So that is Bear Rock. Looks just like a bear looking straight up in the sky. Alright, let's turn this puppy around and going to be changing. We're going to be doing more work to this. We're in round 2 with this thing. My check engine light went out. There is 9.5 miles of road on this place. It's 386 acres. There's a pond over that direction. And I can see by the tracks on the road, my neighbor, which I have given permission, has been up and down this. Should have had him come over to my side of the dang thing. It would have been more clear. Now we're doing goat type things, laser things. Got wiring around my toes. Okay, that's not. Yeah, it is. Trailer brake stuff. So glad the four-wheel drive works. And it was only EDC that did it. Oh, now I see. Yeah. Stuck by that thing. It's a limb that popped up. I didn't see that. It probably wasn't there. It probably flipped because that's what it looked like it did. Hopefully it didn't do any damage. So I was saying we were going to change that door. I have a blue one that matches this. That tailgate really depresses me. This is going to be really bright and I'm not going to be able to see it. Nothing. So this was when it was logged 40 years ago. This was a helicopter landing spot, which is I'm sure what I just said. They had to doze this off in case somebody got hurt. They could fly him out of here. We were about ready to get a view of the entire valley. I thought about putting a house up here one time. Then I decided I really didn't want to look at a town. No splooging, no overheating. Door sill's getting me. All right, guys, we're looking out of the truck. Blazer is right here. Hopefully we did not kill the other side of it with that giant branch. No, built Chevy tough. Did scrape up against it. Got leaves all over the hood. Did not hurt the grill. That was done years ago. I know I did it. So, here's what I promised. The view of the valley. In the massive town of Laytonville, California. Population of minus 100, no, it's 500-ish. Sun is brutal. So straight out that direction, I'll pull you in as far as I can. What you're seeing is that haze is fog. That's from the coast, because that's the coast out there where you're seeing that little cloud. I pulled you in that close. Well, I'm like 15 miles as a crow flies from the coast. 25 miles of driving, 20, something like that, winding roads. Give you the whole view. Pull you back in. Yeah, that's a little better. So you get the right aspect of how large that is. You know, yeah, my house is, where are you? I can see you, I can. That's Laytonville. There I am. Well, you aren't seeing that, and I'm not focusing it well, evidently. Anyway, I'm right down there. So there's a road that goes right over there. The other side, I do have a pond over there. It's at the other end of the property, and right where that dead tree is right there, to the left of it, I was actually going to build my dream home there. That's always been the plan, not to have it where it is. I've been turning around here, enjoying the view of my neighbors. And there's Bear Rock again. Hello, Mr. Bear. All right. You know, once in a while you just got to go the extra distance. We've gone this far. Let's go the whole distance. Get us out of here without getting squished. What a different animal, you know, when it's in low range. In four-wheel drive. You know, this is why people buy these vehicles, for adventure. So that's why I've decided to take you just a little bit further. And oh yeah, it's doing well, so that has a lot to do with it. I was worried about it doing well. So far, the weight brakes are... My gas gauge is working. It's going... Whatever. Let's go this way. One thing I didn't look at, I looked at all the connections and all that stuff to make sure that we were okay with U-joints and, you know, hanger bolts and U-bolts and all that stuff. One thing I didn't look at is the e-brake. I don't want to do that, mess with that thing out here, I guarantee it. We have gears we can stick it in. Once I get back to the house, it's time to do that. Neighbor just stocked my pond. Well, it's been about a year or more now. He asked me, can I go over there and stock that pond? Does it stay full? I said, yeah, it's stayed full ever since I built the thing. And yes, I built the pond with a dozer, my brother's 1550. Yes, I am a certified heavy equipment operator also. I'm a certified mechanic in million ways. It's all mechanical, guys. Just get it done. This is actually a pretty good time of day to do this because it was smoking hot earlier. The little Mickey rig stand over there is keeping you guys in view of me. I wasn't importing this one forward. I wanted you to see this. We're going to do on the way on the descent when I can actually see the sun isn't pointing my eyes. I'll point out other views. And I know a bunch of you out there are hunters, so I know exactly what's going through your mind because, well, I grew up on ranch. This is normal activity and hunting's part of living out here. This is the cat work you can actually tell I did. Still drainage off to the left there that actually stayed there. That's not what happens, by the way. That big tree is going to be in the middle of my road one day. That is really fun to move. Nope, the gas gauge went back to full again. I think I switched to a Ford Cinder or something. Man, it's all over the place. Now it's at like half tank. This little wobbling is getting its lubrication going. They've been in and out of here a lot, so I'm sure this is open. He told me he's going to go fishing. Forget what he said. I know he said he took catfish. I want to say he put bluegill. I don't remember honestly. I know he said he put one crawdad. And I'm all, well, you just got a 50% chance it's female and it was pregnant. We have freshwater crawdad here in the creeks and stuff. And I don't know if they do well in a pond, but I have seen them in a pond, so I don't know if they got stuck there and were just there, or I don't know. It's not my expertise by no means. Brought you this far, might as well show you the pond. So guys, there she is. Me and the Blazer have been doing Blazer things, and I'm going to be real clear about why I'm going to the pond on foot that has nothing to do with the Blazer, because it has been made clear to me that there's a bunch of fellow mechanics, YouTubers, YouTube warriors, whatever you want to call yourself, that are no longer able to do these kinds of things. And while I can, I'm going to give you the view of this. So let me flip you around and let's take a walk over the pond. And yeah, I know there's hunters, just like I said, and you'll love this. All right, guys, let's go wandering. It's not very far off to the pond. I haven't seen it, obviously. It's been a long time. But I built it to stay there, so hopefully it's still, well, I know it's there because my neighbor said it's there, and he's been up here planting fish like we've been talking about. And he's been turning around right there. You can see tracks. And I see footprints. He's been up here a lot recently. So they got a little Toyota, and it's been turning around right here. Right there to be exact. So that top of this knob right here I was going to clean off. Eagle. Sorry about that. I was going to clean that knob off, build my house there. Where we're walking through down in here would be garden and swimming pool, and then life got in the way. Actually, I just went and built health clubs and stuff. I was going to do all that elsewhere. Yeah, and we have bears and mountain lions and deer, obviously. You know, dogs with horns. We do have elk. They don't let us shoot them. You can get a tag for them now. You didn't used to be able to. There's a bunch of them down in the valley. They don't come up here. They know better. Somebody'd eat them. Kind of curious to see how much water is in it. Yeah, you can tell they've been walking back and forth through here. I imagine it has pretty good water in it because I've seen it in drought years and it only goes down a couple of feet. Most I've seen is about 3. Doesn't really seem to be affected by drought now. In fact, drought, it's a spring fed. And it's clay, so it holds water pretty good. And I'm going to get over here and it's going to be empty, which will irritate me. Oh, it definitely is not empty. There's definitely water in it. And it seems to be down from the few feet from the culvert. That drain over there's, and I need to come out here and debrush it also. Yeah, it's down a few feet. I think I'm from straight down, I'm talking about, not dead, because it'll come all the way up to that. Well, you can see the water line. That's water line, is I suspect the culvert line. And the culvert's right behind that bush. Man, it's nice out here tonight. It smells like a pond. It actually has a really good smell. I see a bunch of water skippers. Anyway, the property line is the end of the pond. Right over there is the end of the property line. Goes that way and up into those tree lines where that dead tree is, so it comes down and goes that way. And yeah, I did, when we built this, I went, neighbor, you're going to have a pond, you mind? He says, nope, please. Because his window's right up there. I mean, his house is right on the top of that knob. Should have made a sandy beach. Yeah, right. Okay, let's get out of here. I don't know if you guys enjoyed that or not. Hopefully. Definitely a lot of beautiful forest and lots of brush. So there's a program going around. Eel River Restoration is what it's called. They put me on a list to bring large crews in here and cut all the brush and undergrowth and make it fire safe. And they really need to do that because this is 2 miles long from one end from where my house is all the way to the other end of the property where we were just at. And it blocks the east approach for fire for Laytonville. So it would be a really wise idea to clean this out. Needless to say, I'd love that. Because I could look out my window straight down to the creek down below, which is dry this time of year. Surprised we haven't seen a deer, especially at the pond. Usually when I go there, there's critters. You probably heard me clunking through the woods, especially talking at you guys. Hope the mosquitoes are out. Or gnat, something buzzed me. And yeah, that's poison oak. I'm not allergic to it, but boy, that stuff will get most people. They're right there. Guys, I got to tell you, this is a really nice way to end the day. Maybe one day I'll win the YouTube lotto and become a big guy and build a house right there. Like, comment, subscribe. Yeah, I love that. Calling on the YouTube army. Let's go. Alrighty. It's amazing how fast brush grows. I hate the stuff. Yeah, the house would be up there. There is kind of, well, there was kind of a road that went up that way. And I was going to put a garage down there behind the Blazer where that tree is, because it goes another 100 feet flat, and a big shop down below. No dripping, no heating, no complaining. Let's go back down. All right, guys, let's go back down the hill. You get a lot better views now because the sun's not killing us. Oh, there is something I need though. I can't see out that mirror. Brush pushed it in. Oh, that's why. God. I'm like, I'm cooking. It's because I had it on heat. Whew. It's warm in here. There's a little bit of walk with you guys was a little bit warm too. It's a lot more uphill than it looks in the video. It's not bad. This, where we're going up and down, that's steep. Headlights work? Ha! I have two headlights. That's low beam. That's high beam. My indicator isn't working. My gas gauge is absolutely crazy. And oh yeah, I need to do the, you don't need this. It needs all the dash lights, the little bulbs replaced. I'm going to take that out. Oh yeah, I did take the dash. I told you guys yesterday I took the bezel out, took it in the sink and scrubbed it up good. I can actually see the gauges, which brings me to how many miles this has on it, because that's one of the first things we look at, right? 154,000 or 150 something thousand is what it has on it. And no, it doesn't have the 100,000 mile mark, but I know that that'd be the mileage for a fact because it was documented. My mom had it since it was like 35,000 when she originally got it. This engine's been really faithful. One day she said it's got a clacking, something's clacking, so I found clacking in the driver's side number one cylinder. I pulled the valve cover off and it had backed one of the rocker arms off of it, loosened up. No bent push rod or anything, just sloppy. So I went and got it a new nut and adjusted her up. And that was 96. I think she got this in, I want to say 94 or 95. I do need to work on the registration, because I'd like to drive it, especially if it gets anywhere near the gas mileage it used to get. Something about $7 a gallon for diesel in California is really pissing me off, guys. I love this, and remember, we are very northern California. Avenue of the Giants is 45 minutes away. The drive-through Redwood Tree, 30 minutes away. Glass Beach, Fort Bragg, 45 minutes, maybe. Glass Beach, actually probably an hour to Glass Beach. Mendocino, this town on the ocean, about the same distance, about an hour. Driving through the redwoods all over the place, it is absolutely gorgeous here. But yeah, my point is, we're nowhere near LA. We're 3.5 hours from San Francisco up 101 to the Golden Gate. That door's got to go. That thing has irritated me. My mom blocked a sheep with it. She used to love to raise sheep and goats. I'm not sure why. She actually showed me. To each their own. I don't like them. They're fine. I mean, they're great brush eaters. The goats are. Sheep, I don't like the way they taste, so I know people love pork chops. Or pork chops. Lamb chops. I do not. I don't like the taste of goat. I don't like the taste of sheep at all. Deer? Venison? Yes. Venison jerky, and I'm very happy. Remember, I grew up on ranch. 880 acres. Way bigger than this. And it was ranch, too. This is a tree farm more than anything. You couldn't run cattle on here if you wanted to. It's beautiful. It's the best views in the world, but yeah, it's a little steep for any animals besides deer. Pigs. I haven't seen any pigs here. So there's that. They're all north of me. They don't like the steep either, evidently. There's that limb again. We're not doing that limb. I'm seriously going to make a phone call to my son and see where his dozer's at. We got to do something about that road without a chainsaw. And I need to fix that slide that we creeped around and lost traction on, and it was about that far from the edge, about 150 feet of straight down other than Manzanita that are right there on the edge. They didn't used to be there. I had one of my workers came up here and wanted to go up here and show off with his girlfriend. Came down here. I said, yeah, no problem, just drive safe. So he's going to play Ranger Rick, turned off the headlights, and he's creeping along on a pickup same year as this, or a square body. And slipped over that edge and was hanging by that left front and the left rear. It's all bad. You come walking in the back door, he's like, I need help. I actually got that recorded. You're going to love this on VHS. That was about 2000, I would say, or 99, somewhere in that area. This road I used to, last time I dozed this thing, it was like a highway. And it was brushed up, but not quite this bad. Dozer will take care of the brush on the ground, because I can just carve it in. Most of this is rock and it blades pretty well. It's varying different kinds of rock, so if you're an equipment operator, you know what that does to a blade. It was like one kind of rock, one kind of little clay, another kind of rock. Blade wants to walk on it, especially if you're a smaller dozer. 50 to 50 wasn't so bad. Looked like a big freeway when I was done with it. But yeah, you need a guy on a chainsaw doing the limbing. Nice stuff. Make sure you guys are still recording. We're going to get some views here in a minute here. Wow, this thing goat crawls now really well now that I've put in four-wheel drive. Yeah, that would be brilliant. So I've lived here 30 years. A little longer. Okay, let's do some math. I'll let you do the math. So 1988 is when I bought this place. And it is 2026. Not quite at 30 years, right? 28 years? Is that right? Yeah, I'm not doing math right now, but you get the point. Long time. I was 35. Oops, I just told my age. Yeah, here we go on that landslide, and you can see the mountain. I've cut this thing back, and they're on the right to you. On the other side of these Manzanita that are blocking what you can't see and normally can, and I'm going to have to cut that just so people can see it. There's a cliff there, and it isn't good. I used to be able to see right down it. Oh, look at a little backward sliding the rear end right there. Yeah, these tires are garbage. They're straight tires to begin with. They I think it came with the axle. I don't know where we got the dang wheels from. I know we have big, tall, mag rim or, custom blood vents on it that are this tall, which are the right kind, but they're just way bigger than they need to be. There are a lot of bear up here. I've seen 6 and 7 at a time. The dogs usually keep them out of the front yard, but I've had them take off with a 50-pound dog food feeder, a 55-gallon drum with a hole cut out of it for the dog to get its head into it to eat. Gang feeder. They don't eat. They really are not that big eaters. They're big dogs. They're probably big eaters compared to what most of you guys are used to. Okay, now I can get out of the glare. This is terrible. This I do not like. Man, when I bladed this off, it doesn't look like it, but it was about 20 feet. And it looks like it's down to 15. The bank is caved off. But you can see how wide that is. It's 2 dozers blade wide when I first dozed it off. I gotta cut those limbs out and I'll just doze all this out. Just pull forward on it, turn it, push the blade down and shove it over the bank. Those are freaking huge, manzanita. And that butt brush is just nasty. Just stay off that butt brush. Yeah, I'm glad this thing doesn't have a good paint job, because I would be having a heart attack right now. I can't stand brush on the side of a vehicle. It really bugs me. Yeah, this is ridiculous. Probably 5 or so hours with a chainsaw, and I could go through that and clear it open pretty much, or 30 minutes with a bulldozer and it'd be gone. I know, I've done it before. And yes, I can take it down enough because it's all rock, like I've mentioned, so I can drop 4 inches into it and just push it through and pull all the roots right out of the ground without a brush rake. I know I'm going to get comments about that. Local horse clubs there's 9.5 miles of roads on this property. A little more than that because I created another one. So that's what the old man when I bought it. It's about 78 when I bought it. But he told me there's 9.5 miles of roads. They knew that because when they logged it, that counts every little spur and everything. There's a lot of road on this place. We were just on the main one end to the other one. Man, those are bad. So I have an international, is it 4,900? 5-yard dump that's in Reading. I need to get moved here. I have a backhoe somewhere else. That won't help with the thing, but that will haul rock from one place to another. Where did we? Oh my God. Okay, we did run over some big ass gnarly rocks. Surprised we have tires. We must have went right in between those just perfectly. Driving into the sun's not so good. Where it's smooth, it's actually nice. And it was wide. I had it pushed all the way up into that bank there. It's all slid down in there. This whole rock face here keeps doing that. There's another big slimy sharp. I did have the chainsaw in there. Fortunately, we didn't have to use it. Something that is irritating me about this seat. It's not straight straight up, and the adjuster is either gone, or maybe it never did that, because this is the low budget K5. I mean, you can see standard. It's got air conditioning, no tilt. It does have. Wait. I could have sworn this thing had cruise control. It is not. Oh, it does not. Yeah, baseline. There has been a dash pad on it, this blue dash pad. It's still stuck there with Velcro since I've known the truck. I have never seen under it, but I know it can't be. It's got to be better than if it didn't have. Because my Blazer's dash needs to be replaced, and those things are $600, $500, and it's just smoke. The rest of the inside of my Blazer pretty good. The headliner, this has the metal. Mine actually had a headliner in there. That little mini pad they put up there started biodegrading in my face. Road. Well, with God's blessing, I will be able to do that. And hopefully soon, because it needs it like yesterday. My spring for my house is right there. And there's thousands of feet of pipe going down the road that's potable water poly at the moment. It needs to be buried PVC. After near 30 years, it hasn't been done. That's 34 years, isn't it? 2000? That's, yeah. My math is not working at the moment. Here we go into the sun again. Ah, humbug. Well, a lot of my views I wanted to show you have been overgrown by brush, except for the ones on top. We did that one real well. I want all the undergrowth killed. They did a place up north. It's 250 acres. It cost. This is what I don't get. The state spent $800,000 on getting that cleaned, and then they make burn piles, and they come back in the winter and burn all the piles, which could save lives. It's just overly. Yeah, I did the math on $50 an hour running a saw and a lead man, and it just doesn't add up to that. They worked there for about 2 months, so you 20 men at $50 an hour. And you figure if you round it, do 75, it still ain't $800,000. Somebody's making a fortune. North California gouging you somehow or another, or somebody gouging California and them letting them get away with it. It's gonna get worked. It's that damn jungle with these vines hanging down here. There's another landing right down here. Off to our right, will eventually be the shop. I dozed it off for a 50 by 100 shop to be put there. Obviously, it never got there. Well, buddy. Holding spot. I need a storage container and I need a shop. We'll get there. This was all overgrown, just like you've seen back there. I had to cut it all out to get there's the pile part of it to get to these C10. Actually, it was a big tent, short bit. You'll see it here shortly. This thing is running so phenomenally. No lights on. Check the engine light, it went away. I'd almost bet that was a catalytic converter thing. Who knows? It's gone. I'm sure it needs a good tune-up. It was tuned up fairly recent before it sat, but yeah, I looked at that. I definitely need to change the oil. I looked at it. It wasn't bad. It's all 27 years old. Oil doesn't go bad from sitting. It gets bad from using, but it was looking like it was half-life and sitting 27 years. So yeah, I want to change it now that we've got all the fluids moving and everything functioning, and that was the point. This puts more load on a vehicle than you would ever do driving to San Francisco and back. It's just, this is low range, crawling around, grinding, heating, uphill, downhill. It's flexing. It's not highway speed cruising is what I'm getting at. And our gas gauge is working. We have a quarter of a tank. All it needed is a little love from being, what did I just say? Well, there's a 6-ply right here, 5-ton. Maybe we'll do a well run on it someday. Put it in the comments. You want to see a little funky thing run? And there's our 87 over there. 78. Nope, I'm not dyslexic. Yes, I might have been. I have issues. I definitely have issues. My wife lives in another country and I need her home. Belarus to be exact. Can we do a long crankage around the corner? Long four-wheel drive hoppage. We made it one way. We made it the other. Good cut. This thing's awesome. Yep, now we have a quarter of a tank, and that'd be about right. So I put the original 5 gallons in it. Oh, now it's going to make a liar out of me. Well, so I put 5 gallons in it, and then I put another 4 gallons. Maybe I put $20 worth in it. So yeah, 4 gallons, not even. So you guys shouldn't be at. Well, it's all over the damn place at the moment. Well, it's showing quarter of a tank. They do toss around because this fluid's going like this, and the fuel is still up right now. Okay, it's steadily about a quarter of a tank. These are 32-gallon tanks. And I'm here to tell you this is so much different driving this than my Blazer, my big black Blazer with 40s. I love that truck. Detroit lockers, 1 tons, Dana 60. So this has 3/4 ton with a 14 bolt in the front, rear. Wish they made 14 bolts for the front. They don't do that. Anyway, it has the regular 3/4 ton in, and I don't remember which one it is. I'll have to get out. It is not a Dana because it's a Dana 44 because I think they had to be older to get to the Dana 44. I could be wrong. It might be a Dana 44. I don't remember what year these came out of. Guys, we are home. That is a success. Wow. Gas gauge working, same quarter of a tank. I'm going to get out with you guys and we're going to walk around because now that I discovered lights work, we're going to check it from the outside and see what actually works. Give me a minute. So guys, we made it back. I did not kill it. It did fine. It's not overheated. I can't believe it just did that. And it's that rusted tailgate really irritates me. There is no rust underneath this truck. That not having a drain holes plugged up suck, or the plain holes, drain holes plugged up. Let's see if we have lights. Well, I know we have lights because I just saw them. Okay, running lights and the main lights. I believe those were low beams. One marker light. What do we got in the rear? I know you guys saw it in we have brake lights because it was in the muffler shot when I started it. I touched the brake and it came on. So I know we have brake lights. We have Culver lights. We do not have that marker light. Do we? Let's turn those off. First, let's see what the other beams are doing and see if we got them both. Okay, we have them both. If I remember correctly, you have to have the key on to make the turn signals work. And here, one turn signal. They seemed a little slow. We do not have the front one. It's probably a bulb. I don't hear it. It is not working. Could be just a switch. Flip that thing around a bit. I heard one. It needs a flasher pod or a connection there. You can hear it. Yeah, crusty connection. Oh, I got the blinker and the marker. Wonder if we can get this other front one to work. Now we're having a marker out here. Oh, there it is. A little crunchy connection. Blind dog, why are you running into me? Oh yeah, you're blind. What do you got on your back? Pitch. Alright, I'm being accosted by my dogs. Turn the key off. Alright guys, that made me extremely happy. After 22 years, I got to relive some old memories, create some new memories with you, and have a heck of an adventure in the meantime. If you like content like this and would like to see more of it, like, comment, subscribe, and I will see you here next time.